Well, I gotta take a quick break from painting. This is Arizona, and the days are getting real toasty. And unlike when we were cruising, I can't just work for a while and hop in the water and cool off a bit and then hop back on. So I've got to get some shade put up so that I can work. So I went out and picked up a big tarp to go over the mast and down the sides. Now, I picked up an aluminized one. What I learned when we were cruising is all shade is not created equal. We have a hunter green bimini that sits right at the top of our boom gallows to the Dodger, and that's all well and good and it looks great. However, what I found out was unless you use something that's reflective, sitting underneath that green in the hot sun, it keeps the sun off you, but sitting underneath it is like sticking your head in an oven with the broiler turned on. So we wound up with 2 awnings for the tropics, and I'm a firm believer in it. What happens is that top awning keeps the sun off the second one, and the second awning, being lower, keeps a good nice breeze going through the boat. So if you're heading to the tropics and you don't have a good reflective one up there with insulation in it, think about 2 awnings. It will make your life immensely better. So before I put the tarp on, I realize I've got 2 20-watt solar panels sitting up there, and in order to keep them from pumping out, or in order to keep them pumping out juice, they can't be under the tarp, so I've got to reposition them first. So, in order to reposition the 2 solar panels, I had some old PVC tubing at home that I was sort of almost in a scrap pile, almost threw it away. What I did was nip this down so that the solar panels the long way fit right on top of here. And what I'm going to do is just untie them from there, tie them onto here, and slide this forward almost, well, right up to the bow pulpit, and that will keep them out of the shade because I really want the shade from here back. I want to be able to get to the Greg box on top, the storage area there, and things like that. So we'll just move them up forward. Okay, so here it is. It's not great, but it'll do. If we were having any kind of major windstorm, I might be worried, but it should be okay for now. They keep pumping out. I'm getting enough power from them to keep my power tools running and batteries topped up. So even with the shade part of the day on one, part of the day on the other. By the way, this line I'm using to tie them up with, it's just a clothesline from a big home store. I find that it works really great. It lasts quite a while in the sun, and it's cheap enough. I don't mind tying a little bit. Once I'm done with it, I can throw it away. It's not a big deal. So now, time to put up the tarp. I ought to lower the temperature inside by a good 10 degrees. If you haven't put up a tarp before, the trick to making them last as long as you can is to keep them as tight as you can. And if you're on a boat and you don't have a ton of bungees, I'd advise you to grab some because they come in handy for all kind of things, from itty bitty ones to great big ones. Now that it's a better temperature, I can get started doing more below. Well, finally, I'm going to get to do some painting, but before I paint, I'm going to tape off. Last time I didn't tape very well, and I got a little bit of over paint. I'm going to make sure that doesn't happen this time. I'm going to tape off and finally start getting some coatings down on here. going to take out 100 screws and take these panels off, I think. Come out a lot nicer if I do that. $2. I'm not real great at painting. I drip and dribble. So for this task, I'm going to paint the tops first. I'll lay down some of this down into the bilge area. Paint the tops first. If anything drips in, it'll be on this. Then I'll let that set up. However many coats I decide, let that set up. Then I'll paint the insides, do those coats. Again with this on the where the bilge coat goes, and then the final coat will be the bilge coat. That way if I drip anything now, it'll be covered up by the final thing at the bottom. You could go the opposite way, but I'm, you know, not that great. Okay, this is the first of 3 coats. I'm going to do the same number of coats down here as I did on the panels out in the yard. So I've been thinking, I've been trying to get 1 video up per week, but you know, posting videos of the next 2 coats and some of the other minor things that I'm doing, sort of exciting as watching paint dry, pun intended. So it may be a few weeks before I get another video up, and I'm not sure exactly what it's going to be yet. If anybody has a request about something, let me know. And I'll do a video of it if I'm doing it, and I have any knowledge that might help people. But other than that, this is probably the last video for a few weeks, at least until I get most of this painting done inside the lockers and all the rest of it. So absolutely thank you for persevering and watching these boring videos, and I hope maybe you get something out of it. If we do anything exciting over the next time, I will videotape and put it up. But there's a good chance that I won't. We got a lot of other hobbies and toys and things that we're working on, so, and we're not planning on launching for a while. So I'm going to go ahead and close out for now and say goodbye. If you liked it, click below. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe. And I'll try not to inundate you with useless videos, just stuff that makes sense. See you next shot.